Okay, I get it. First, you looked at this, you said, maybe, but the reality is once you really looked at it, looked at the side, you said, no, that's not something I'm gonna use. But I'm gonna tell you, I think you're wrong, because this little guy does a lot of cool things and has some really crazy battery life. So if you're at all interested in something for camping, emergency use, hunting, fishing, all kinds of things where you might need a little bit of light for a long period of time, you might want to stick around and check this out. We're going to go through this top to bottom. So first things first, this dude is small. It's literally smaller than my hand. It does have a silicone covered magnetic hook here that will stay down. It's not going to flop away. It has a single switch, and around this switch it's illuminated. It's going to be a battery detector. It's going to tell you the battery charge or state, and then it's also going to give you an idea where this switch is, since there's only one on this whole lantern. So when you push it, it turns it on to whatever mode it was in the last time, so it does have a memory. If you push and hold, it'll move up. I think that was high. This is low. Here's medium. There's high again. And if we just touch it, it turns back off. That is super cool. This little thing has an immense amount of light. I mean, we're talking about 360 lumens, 6.5 hours on high. On low, which is 30 lumens, 75 hours. Guys, that's like 3 days. That's crazy, right? And then if you were in the holiday spirit for anything, or if you wanted this to just hang out and do different things, they have this, what's called the Flaming LED. It's cool. It basically looks like there's a little flame in there. So you could drop this in your pumpkin, you could put it inside something. This guy will run for 80 hours like this. It's not a ton of light, but it's like ambiance. It's cool. And you can run it with the top off, probably not suggested, but there's only one mode with that light bulb. Ooh. This thing, it's well built. We're gonna come in and go over that. But beyond that, it uses the same standard MCC cable on the bottom. So when it is charging, it's red. You can just see this red light. What I wanted to show here is that you can charge and use this guy at the same time. I'll line that guy up so that's in the back. So we are charging and using it. So at the same point, even with this MCC cable, which is very long, you should be able to run this almost indefinitely if you wanted to. If that runtime doesn't work for you, which for most people, 3 days is a long time. Let's come in and go over this thing a little more in depth. First thing I want to say is that the camera does not film this well. So you'll see me filming from the top down a lot of times when I'm walking around, or if I'm physically pointing the camera at it at night. It makes this kind of blurry and fuzzy, but it doesn't look that way at night, and it's quite nice. You have a rubber bottom, so you can set it on something. It's not going to scratch anything up. You can see this red light right here that tells me that this guy is charging. It probably blends in quite well, but you can see it just turned green here. Put it back on, it'll turn red. So that's the little MCC charging cable. At this point, we have a green light that's around this button. It's small, it shows up a lot better at night. Operation is the same, right? Push it, turns on, push and hold, it'll go through its modes. Push it again, turns off. If you push, let it turn on and then turn off, it'll go into a locked mode, and you'll see that's red around here right now. All you have to do again is push it and hold, and it'll turn on in its green mode. So that's just a mode so that it won't change. This hanger on top works great. It's obviously magnetic, so it stays in place once it's down, not gonna float away. Quarter turn, this comes off. This is IPX4 rated. You can see we do have an O-ring here, so you're not gonna get water inside this. This could be hot after use, but it takes a very, very long time. I'm talking days to get warm. So you have threads here. This is aluminum. This guy's aluminum. You can just thread your flaming light on. Put this back in place. turn it on. There you go. Simple. There's not much to it, right? There are no other modes in the flaming light, so that's all that it'll do is that one mode, which is basically, they say 1 lumen, but it's again more for looks than it is anything else. And I could see people turning that on for camping for just a little light outside. It's not super heavy. There are 4 1.9 amp hour, 3.7 volt batteries in here. So it does take 7 hours to charge on this guy, which seems like a long time, but when you get 3 days out of it, I mean, you don't have to charge it for that long to get any runtime out of it, and the battery life is immense, so charging time isn't gonna be that bad. There's a lot of reflectors in the top of this, so you get light just about everywhere once you turn this guy on, and it fills the room, which is cool, even on low. So you can switch between low, high, and medium, and just really fill the room with whatever light you need. In an emergency situation, I think that's what's cool, because even on medium, you're getting 20 hours. So that's saying that you had a dark house for 20 hours, or basically that could be 3 days of emergency use, unless it was completely pitch black outside. I can't imagine you needing a light on in your house for more than 4 or 5 hours if you ran on a no power emergency situation. Either way, very, very cool light. I know a lot of you guys are gonna look at this and say, but think about it for camping. Think about this for working on your side-by-side, carrying it in your side-by-sides, carrying it in your truck, working on your truck at night as an emergency light. If you had to change a tire, anything, this is small enough that it fits, works, and will do anything you need, and the battery life is amazing. So you could store it somewhere and still turn it on, and even if it had half battery, it would probably last 5 times longer than you actually needed it. So it's cool, and you're thinking, is this really for me? And I get that, because when I first opened it up, I thought, but once you use it and see the amount of light that's there, and your mind starts going to, hey, that would be cool for here, that'd be neat for this. So I actually have a couple more of these coming, and I'm gonna keep them in my camper, but they're also gonna end up in my truck, because the reality is, in the wintertime around here, we have a lot of darkness, and if I ever need to change anything, a tire or anything horrible inside the road, or help someone else, I've got light, which is important. It's a safety factor, not only for someone hitting you, but for you getting your job done and getting the hell off the road. So trucks, awesome. Camping, awesome. If you were at all a fisherman in low light situations, this would be something I'd want on the boat, because it's not bright enough, you know, as a flashlight when you first put it on low. You could have that at night, and it's not gonna blind you where you'd miss a step in the boat or anything after that. It's just nice, low light. And that to me is a big deal that you don't have to hang on to. It can sit, it's not gonna rock around and move. So there's a million places that you might need or want light, and this fits it. So you just kind of have to get over the whole lantern looking part, which I think is either going to attract people to it or push people away. And I'm super interested in the comment section if you could leave that. Does the fact that this looks like an old school mini lantern make it more appealing or less appealing to you? Because the reality is, this is a great work light. It just doesn't look like a great work light. It looks more like a party light or something like that. But either way, I'm curious from you guys. If you would, let me know what you think. To me, it's cool. A lot of great features, a lot of cool things that I can do with it. And it's going to be something that I know I will use, and I'm hoping that I can introduce it to you, a couple of you guys, and you might say, yeah, I think I might use it the same way. So we appreciate everything. If you're on Olight's site looking, they do have their pen now in their CU or their copper, so this is going to, you know, change color over time as your body oils and everything touch it, and it's gonna just become kind of like yours. This pen does have refillable ink in the bottom, and it does have a light on it, which with multiple modes. It's pretty cool. And again, they're big flashlights. I like this green because I'm hoping I'll never use it because of it. Are all going to be on sale soon. I'll have a link in the description for that. Also a discount code down there for anything that is not on sale, or if you decide to wait and pick up something after their flash sale, that's always awesome to get a little bit off. I think it's 10% at this point. We appreciate your time, guys. Give us a like in this video, subscribe to the channel. As always, have a great day.